Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Today I want to do a video about can you make the change? And what I'm talking about, and I want a lot of you guys to also comment on this in the comment section because it might help some of the people that are looking to come over here. A lot of people have been writing to me saying that they don't think that 95% of the people that are talking about coming over here can do it. And I disagree with them highly because I think a lot of people are going to come over here this time. I think a lot of people are going to make the change. But I think there's a lot of people out there, and I see a lot of people writing to me saying, "Hey, Steve, I make $900 a month or something like that," but then they don't have any startup money or they don't have any emergency funds or anything like that, and they're still talking about coming over here. And I don't think that those people are going to be even able to make the change because they can't even afford a plane ticket over here because you have to have, and there's more to it than just that. There's a lot of thought that goes into it too, and a lot of people just aren't willing to put that much thought into it. It took me 4 years to really plan on coming over here and putting aside a lot of money. I know there's people that have come over here. I've seen a guy from Alabama come over here and just jump on a plane willy-nilly and come over here, and he's become like basically like a beggar over here, and it's not a good scene. But here's the thing. A lot of people back home, people call them dreamers, and they're not willing to pull the trigger and say, "Hey, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to the Philippines." A lot of them won't do it. Some of them will. And a lot of people on my page, I think I have a lot more of the serious type people that are willing to come over here. And a lot of the people that are watching some of the other pages, I don't think they're as serious or they're dreamers. It's just my thoughts. I could be wrong on this, but I really believe that we have a lot of really serious people on my page. I know which ones aren't going to do it, and I know which ones are going to do it. And the ones that are going to do it are the ones that are really getting into the details. They're asking me the questions that should be asked, things like that, So I can kind of tell which ones are serious and which ones aren't. And some of the guys that are, throwing out questions like, "Hey, Steve, I'm making, $700 a month off dividends. I'm 40 years old. You think I could make it over there or something like that? I living off some money that an estate left me from my parents or something like that." I don't think those people can make it over here because you need more than that. You need an emergency fund. You need something to keep you going. You know what I mean? But a lot of these people they are dreamers. And some people are correct in that when they say that. I got a fly flying around here. It's bugging the heck out of me. But anyway, a lot of people, I'm not sure if they'll pull that trigger. But there's a lot of people out there over in the United States right now that went home to visit from the tourist visa because they were buttoned up against that time. And they're waiting to get back in here. And there's a whole load of those people that have girlfriends over here. They're older guys. They really can't live in the United States that well. Some of them went off to other countries or what have you, or went back to the UK or Australia or wherever they're from. And they went home for a while, and they figured, well, I'll come back after everything's all settled, the dust is all settled, and I'll go back in on a tourist visa. That's going to be a lot of people. Also, the SRRV visas. A lot of people went home and got stuck there because the Philippines wouldn't let them come back in. Those people also were, waiting to come in here and waiting for things to open back up. And there's going to be a truckload, more than a truckload. When I say tsunami, I think there's going to be a whole tsunami of people coming in here. And also you got the people that have been waiting for over a year to retire to come here, and they were almost ready to come in here, and all of a sudden the door's shut. So you got a year and a half worth of those people that are waiting to come in here too. So, a lot of you guys who are second guessing these people and saying, "I don't think that 95% of those people are gonna come." I think you're wrong. I think you're really wrong. I think there's a lot more going on here than just people that want to come over here to retire. I think there's a lot of people that are ready to leave the United States because they're sick and tired of the United States. They're tired of the politics. They're tired of the divisiveness, the hate, the venom that goes back and forth, going to work and being put down because, of your political stance or whatever in some states. And I've had that happen. People are tired of that now. So this is more than just about retirement for some people. Some of it's about getting away from that. Not just that. Some people are tired of being treated like a pariah in their family or whatever, and they haven't done anything wrong. And we've talked about that before in the past. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You don't even have to do anything in your family to piss somebody off in your family today. I mean, it's true. I mean, people will just, you're just like the black sheep in the family, and that's the way it is. So what do you want to live there for? That's the way I look at it. And I get a lot of those people too, that are writing to me and telling me, hey, Steve, I see where you're coming from on this here and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that want to get out of there, but they have to flick the switch. They have to flick that switch, and they have to make that move. And there's so many different reasons why people want to leave now. And believe it or not, there's more people leaving the United States than ever before. People that are actually willing to give up their citizenship to get out of the United States. The wealthier people are getting out of the United States. They see the writing on the wall. The United States used to be a great country, and it still is to a certain extent, but if they don't straighten things out soon and get their rear end back on the track, get their train back on the track, it's going to crash, And I don't see things getting much better in the U.S. Some people say, well, Steve, the pendulum has to swing all the way one way before it goes the other. And yeah, that's true in some respects, but sometimes people forget to wind the clock. And in this case here, I don't think anybody's winding the clock. And I think there's a lot of things that are going to happen in the U.S. before it gets better, if it gets better. And I'm not trying to get political here, but I'm saying that a lot of the people that are fed up with it are looking at the writing on the wall and saying, hey, Steve, I want to get out of here. I want to go to the Philippines like you. And I get emails like that every single day talking about the politics and saying they want to get away from the politics and live away from that political crap that's going on back in the U.S. or back in Western countries like the U.K., Australia, Europe, or wherever these people live. It doesn't have to be the U.S. For me, it's the U.S. And, I know I'm talking to other people out there, too. I get that, but a lot of you guys get what I'm saying, because you guys back in the U.K., I think, are going through a lot of that, too. Norway, Sweden, to a certain extent, Germany, Australia, even in New Zealand, to a certain extent, I'm hearing a little bit. Some people want to get out of New Zealand, which is unusual. It's very unusual for somebody to want to leave New Zealand, because that's a place where it's almost like untouched there, and it's kind of strange, but I'm getting a few people from New Zealand now saying, hey, I want to move, I want to go to the Philippines. And I'm not saying the Philippines is a heaven on earth. It's not. But it does have a lot to offer here, because you can just kind of tune out all that other stuff here just by going to an island, and you just forget it, because you don't have, unless you go on the internet and you go looking for that stuff, which a lot of us don't. I mean, I'm a news junkie kind of, but sometimes I just kind of zone out for a week or something from the news and just don't get involved. And sometimes I find it a little bit harder over here to get that news, which is actually good. Now, so a lot of people, when I talk to my friends on the phone, they'll be telling me all the news back in the U.S. And I said, I didn't hear that, really? Are you sure? And they're like, yeah, you didn't hear that? But I mean, as far as people coming here, guys, you have to flick the switch, to come here. But make sure you're safe. Go through my stuff. A lot of guys are writing to me saying, hey, Steve, do you think I can live on this, like I mentioned, $900 or whatever, what have you, or $600 or $700 or $1,000, but they don't have any money saved up for their startup fund and nothing for their emergency fund, and then they say, well, I'll save up for that when I get there. Well, if you're making $900 a month, how are you going to save money for your emergency fund? You're going to be living on $900 a month probably. Trust me. Especially if you have no startup fund, you're going to be spending all your money trying to furnish your place for the next year or two. Because you don't have the money. So if you don't have any planning going on in your thoughts, don't come here. Don't. Be safe. I do want people to flick that switch and come over here, but I do want people to be safe when they come here. We've talked about this umpteen times. And a lot of you guys aren't watching my my budget videos, especially the sweet spot budget. $1,500 and above, you'll be okay, but it's not, with the inflation rates going the way they are, unless you got a COLA built in there or something like that, I wouldn't come here. If you're only getting $1,500 and it's not going to go up with the cost of living. Okay, it has to go up with the cost of living. So you have to have, I don't know what kind of pension you guys get, but if you have a cost of living raise built in there, then you'll be safe. If you don't, then you're not going to be safe. So guys, be really careful. Think about things before you come over here, because you don't want to find yourself in 5, 10, 15 years saying, wow, I'm going to need to go back home because I don't have enough money here. You know, and some of you guys in your 50s where you have like a low pension or something to come over here and you know you're going to get Social Security later on, that's a whole different ball game. But you still have to have like a planning. You have to plan that out to make sure it's going to work for you, and you're going to be able to pay for your insurance, your health insurance and everything when you're over here, and you're going to have some money to bury yourself, you know. But in all reality, guys, most people that come over here to really, truly, truly be happy, and there are exceptions, and I know that because we get a lot of people writing, well, I'm living on $600 down here in Bohol or in Mindanao or something, and I live fine and I'm happy. That's great. You know, if you want to live off coconuts and rice and, you know, a couple of chickens out in the yard or something, that's fine. You know, but I mean, I like living happily here. And I'm sure most people do. Most people don't want to retire on a crappy retirement over here. You know, so guys, really, really think about when you come over here. This isn't like living in the United States over here, by no means. And a lot of you guys are under this false impression that when you come over here, you can live over here because you're listening to some of these vloggers and think that you're going to live like you do back home. And you're going to be, you know, going out to eat every night. You're going to be whining and dining your girlfriend. You're going to be rich over here because your money is worth, you know, every dollar is worth 47 pesos, and you're going to be a millionaire over here. It's just not true. And I have always told people, you know, the truth in my vlogs is from what I know and what I see. Okay? And I know I get people that disagree with me, and that's fine. You know, there's people that are going to disagree with me, and there's some people, they don't understand like the way I think. I think for the future. I think far out. Most of these people that disagree with me, they live for today. I think far ahead for safety reasons, okay? And that's why I say like my budgets of like the 2,000 to 3,000 budgets are safe. But in order to flick that switch, guys, you have to know in your head you're going to be safe. Can you live on less than the 2,000 to 3,000? Yes, you can. Will you be able to live long term on that? That's the question. That's the question. And if you ask me, I'm going to say no. If you ask somebody else here, they might say yes. Okay? I study my stuff, and I do a lot of homework in it and stuff like that. And I try, you know, there's all kinds of, you know, variables to all this stuff. So I can't plan everything, and nobody can. Nobody can predict the future here. But I will tell you this, the $2,000 to $3,000 sweet spot budget that I did a while ago is about as close as you can get to being safe, provided you have like some sort of COLA raise in there or something like that with most of your money. Okay, and you're saving most of that money for later on when you get older or whatever. Unless you got something like 300,000 or 400,000 or 500,000, you know, set aside or whatever, somewhere in an account, and you can self-insure. That's a whole different ball game, and it puts you in a whole different league here. And you know, like you guys, if you guys ever have something like that, you want to talk to me, you know, I'll tell you what to do. You know, I can give you some ideas of how to, you know, use that money properly and stuff like that. Because if you self-insure, you can save yourself a lot of money over here, and you can use that money. And you know, but the sweet spot budget that I have, to get back to that for a second, is it gives you enough money when you go to dip into your emergency fund that you can pay it back. A lot of people think, well, if I have a $50,000 emergency fund, what if you use that once or twice and the $50,000 is gone? What do you do then? It could happen. You know, it could happen. It's not a what if. It does happen sometimes. You know, it does happen to some people, and those people end up going home. That's why 33 to 50% of the people end up going home, because either their health, their finances, or they're sick of the infrastructure, or they break off with their girlfriend or whatever. That's why 33 to 50% go home, or they pick up and move and go to another location in the Philippines or something like that and start their life all over again. You know, because of something that happens. You know, some guys, the guys that pick up and leave it and go to someplace else in the Philippines are usually guys that are going through like a separation with their girlfriend, or going through an annulment or something like that, and they still end up staying here. I don't consider that like the part of the 33 to 50%, but they do up and move. Some people move to another country outside the Philippines, and that's really not giving up your expat status per se. So some of these 33 to 50% of the people that leave the Philippines, they just go on and go to a different country. Some of these people, like Vietnam or Thailand or Cambodia maybe, or something like that. So there is a lot of choices over here for expats, you know, and there's that low ball living, which I don't recommend to anybody. I mean, I can show you this guy down below and the way he lives, and he probably lives on less than $100 a month. You know, and I mean that serious. He probably lives on less than $100 a month. He probably lives on about $50, $60 a month. He has rice and a shack and water, and occasionally somebody gives him some money. He goes out and has a few drinks and gets drunk and shows up back here. He's an older guy. He's you know, he was one of those people in his family where he never amounted to much, and he's just kind of poor now. It's kind of sad. You know, he's a quiet guy. He minds his business, but that's the way he lives. He's a Filipino guy, and he's kind of a nice guy. Like I said, he minds his business. He's quiet down there, and once in a while he'll come over and ask me for 20 pesos or 100 pesos or something like that. I give it to him, you know. But I mean, you don't want to be living over here in poverty on 500, 600, 700, you know. And I know that people out there, they're saying, well, I can live here. I'm living here on $1,200 a month or something like that. And that's, you can live here, and you can live pretty good on that amount. But are you going to be happy on that amount? And some people can adjust better than others, okay? And others can't, okay? And that's all on you to make that decision, whether to come here and flick the switch, you know? You don't want to come over here, sell off everything back in the United States, and then find out after you get here and you're here for a year or 6 months or something, wow, this $900 a month or this, you know, $1,000 a month or $1,200 a month over here is not good living. You know, I barely have enough money to go to the mall. I can't go to Starbucks. I can't travel. I can't go on a vacation. You know, if you're all about sitting in the house and playing on the internet and maybe go out and sit in your porch or something like that. I mean, I go out and do things. You know, I like to go do things, you know. And I also enjoy, you know, sitting around here. But I couldn't sit here all day. You know, no way. There's no way. I'd go stir crazy, you know. But anyway, guys, I want to throw that out there. You know, I want you guys to be able to, you know, flick that switch, guys. Flick it. You know, if you can do it, flick it. But be safe. And only you can make that decision of whether it's safe or not. And like I said, you know, people are writing to me saying, I don't think 95% of these people are going to flick the switch. I think a lot of you guys are going to flick the switch. Just don't let it be a mistake. Don't let it be a mistake. And you know, guys, I want all you guys to comment on here, you know, like that are already over here to these other guys, and let them know. Sometimes it's not easy over here because a lot of people look at this as like it's like heaven over here on earth. We got, you know, easy to get a girlfriend, which it is. You know, it's very easy to get a girlfriend. The living's cheap over here, which it is. But to live a decent life, you need a little money to travel, to do things, to live. If you don't have money to live, it's not worth living over here because you're going to be living in heat. You know, it's 96 degrees in some of these places right now. This is the hottest time of the year right now. You know, if you don't have money for AC, and you're living on cheap money, you're not going to be able to afford AC because your AC is probably going to be about $90 a month, you know, for a decent size AC for your house. So just consider that, guys, you know. But anyway, guys, I just want to throw that out there. You know, I want you guys to all come over here. You know, I want everybody to come over here, but I want people to come over here safe. I want people to come over here that are decent people too, and leave your trash behind. That's another thing too, guys. Learn to leave that trash behind. We talked about all this stuff. I just wanted to kind of have this be like a recap today about all the stuff that we've talked about, you know. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care, and remember, try to flick that switch, guys. Try to flick it. If you can do it safely, flick it. You'll enjoy it over here, provided you have enough money and you plan and think it out, guys. God bless.